NFL Daily Mailbag coming at you. We're kicking this one off with a super chat from Connor F. Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. You're dang right he is.
MVP Aaron
Type
Rodgers,
MVP in the comments. I know we talked about it multiple times, some other quarterbacks potentially. It's Aaron Rodgers. This is the MVP, and I'd actually make the argument it's his greatest season he has ever had. 48 touchdowns.
It's up there.
I mean, really, you go from 26 touchdowns to 48 in an offseason where realistically they didn't do anything to help him. Let's go to this next one. Nick L., next Cards coach when Kingsbury gets fired. Already saying gets fired.
Lincoln Riley. No, I don't know.
Oh, that'd be fun.
It's a great question. If I'm Arizona, I'm looking at Brian Daboll pretty quickly. Like, assuming it's next year and Daboll doesn't get hired by Houston or Philly, which seems pretty darn unlikely, I'm looking at him. Yeah. I'm looking at Doug Peterson. I'm looking at someone who I think can help make my offense better and can help provide a more well-balanced attack. Now, maybe Arizona swings in the other direction and they go defense because, offensive-minded Kliff Kingsbury is not great at defense.
Sure.
Matt Eberflus over with the Colts, their defensive coordinator, I think he makes a lot of sense. So I look in one of those directions for Arizona.
Peter, what up? Who is the Packers' top draft prospect? Okay, you take this one.
I think you're looking at a couple different positions. I think you could still look interior defensive line. I will continue to harp and beg and plead for the Packers to go get a wide receiver. Find someone who can fit. I think that they typically like bigger vertical threats there, so it might be a touch early, but Terrace Marshall was really great before he opted out this year at LSU. Chris Olave went back, but Rashad Bateman could be a fit there if he's on the board. If you want to go more shorter, smaller, and short area quickness guy, a Rondale Moore, a Kadarius Toney. I'm looking at receiver because outside of Devontae Adams, I don't have much. At least not reliable, proven, long-term, legit number 2 guy. I look receiver if I'm Green Bay.
This was coming in from Sauce Hoss. Okay. Who should the Seahawks go out and draft? Sauce Hoss, I've never seen you around here before. If you're a Seahawks fan, go subscribe to our Seahawks channel, youtube.com/SeahawksTV. Tom, you do all the draft stuff. Where are we going?
No first-round pick for Seattle. You got needs at the secondary, specifically cornerback, depending on what you do in free agency there. So you could try and take someone in round 2. Maybe one of the Georgia guys falls to you, Eric Stokes or Tyson Campbell.
Okay.
I'd also look offensive line pretty heavily. I think there will be at least one good prospect on the board in that range that I think would fit Seattle. Maybe Creed Humphrey at center's on the board for you at Oklahoma. I don't think he goes in round 1. That could be a fit. I doubt Wyatt Davis from OSU is there. But I'm looking center and left guard on my offensive line and maybe right tackle too, as I got to get a better offensive line regardless of what my offensive plan is going to be in terms of run or more pass.
So let us know, are you all going to watch the NFL draft? Give me a Y for yes or N for no. If you don't watch it, we're going to be very, very upset. Hopefully, everyone in here is going to be typing their Y for yes, and if you're typing N for no, it's maybe because you guys have never experienced an NFL draft with us. So we are literally live for all 7 rounds. It's like, I don't even know, it's like 24 hours of coverage. We're drinking, we're having a good time, but we're also giving you analysis on every single pick. Tom does homework for years, it almost looks like, on these guys, and we've been the number 1 most watched draft coverage on YouTube.
My notes that I will never publish because they are very vulgar and inappropriate and mean.
Yes, they are. So last year, we had about 10 million viewers over the entire course of the week of all of our draft videos. We hope that you guys join us, so please, if you love the NFL draft, and if you want more draft videos, subscribe to Chat Sports. There's nobody better on the internet than Tom Downey. All right, Super Chat, Mr. Lubo. The Eagles have a need Adam Gase ASAP. Fake news.
Mr. Lubo's a Cowboys fan, so he's trolling. So well done, my friend.
Sorry, ma'am. All right, the Lunatic. Why the Sheagles interviewing Dallas coaches? Inside info.
The interviewing of John Foster, at least the reported interest, is very strange and weird to me. Look, the job is not that appealing, if we're being honest, because you got a broken quarterback and a lot of dead cap and no cap space and a GM that has fired 3 coaches now. It's weird. I do think at some level interviewing Kellen Moore was to try and gain some inside info, but as a promising young offensive coordinator, those guys get interviews, so it's not that surprising to me in the end.
Super chat coming in from Emil. What up, my man? Will Winston be a good quarterback if he takes over the Saints? I think he's going to be the same Jameis Winston we've always seen, but I do think that Sean Payton can get the best out of him in the offense. I just don't even know if he'd be the starter if he stays. I think they keep Taysom Hill.
Sean Payton seems to want to do this Taysom Hill thing. and he's under contract next year. Winston's not. I think Winston could be an okay quarterback. I think he might be able to balance out some of those issues, but you're right. Every time we've seen him outside of this couple snaps in New Orleans, he's always been a, hey, I'm going to, throw it wherever I want, and he makes a lot of mistakes. I don't know if that's been worked out after one singular season.
So who do y'all like more? Type M for Mitch, type T for Tom. We're trying to settle a little bit of a debate here. The first person to get 20 new followers for me on Instagram, Tom on Twitter. We don't have to stay up after work and then do a lot of cleanup. So please, 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 if you guys could, give me a follow on IG at MitchellRents365, or you can give Tom a follow on Twitter at WhatGoingDown.
Ooh, we're even.
We're tied right now.
You guys got to get going here. If neither of us get to 20, we both have to do extra work.
Oh, man.
I want to go eat dinner tonight and be lazy, so I would appreciate it there.
And I would like to be able to go to the gym before I go to bed tonight.
Keep putting those links in the live chat for you guys. My Twitter and Instagram, it's in there right now, at WhatGoingDowney, at MitchellRens365.
Do it.
If we don't get to 20, we both got to do it. Maybe we'll check in at the end of the show on this, too, just to see where we're at here.
All right, let's go to Jaden. What up, man? Tom, tell Dak we'll treat him right in Indy. We don't have a big old yop. Okay. I actually think in terms of it's not the Cowboys, the best situation for Dak is Indy, and I don't want to say I don't know if it's close, but he would fit so well in Indy.
From a fit of the quarterback perspective, from a, hey, we can afford this and have the assets perspective, yeah, Indy makes sense. If the Cowboys don't pay Dak, somebody's going to throw him a giant contract. Indy's at the top of that list.
Let's go to Tariq Mickey. What quarterback makes the most sense for Washington?
It's a great question.
Yeah, this one's really tough. I mean, they have all the pieces there.
You're missing the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
You can bring back Kyle Allen, Taylor Heineke on the cheap.
Yep.
They're not going to be expensive. They're both either restricted or exclusive rights free agents, so they'll be back at a very, very low contract cost. I don't know if Alex Smith comes back. You can save like $20 million by cutting him, and he's just great story.
It's an amazing story.
He ain't the same guy anymore. I'm sorry. Beyond that, maybe you consider Cam Newton, since Washington's just getting the gang back together in Washington for all those old Carolina guys and players and front office members. That could make some sense. Mac Jones in round one. Do you get wild and go trade for a Matthew Stafford?
Oh boy,
that would be the most. If they traded for Stafford,
they're winning that division.
It's them and the Cowboys, 2-team race for the NFC East.
Rashard Lee, should the Cowboys sign Bud Dupree?
Not coming off the injury. If he's cheap, maybe. But edge is not their single biggest need. I'd rather devote my time to a defensive lineman.
Exorcist? Mm-hmm. I can picture Carr going to the Colts, and we get 3 draft picks, and we can get Deshaun Watson or Dak Prescott. I'm going for that deal.
Can I go first here?
Yeah.
So, great idea in theory, right?
Yeah.
If you are the Colts, wouldn't you just go get Deshaun Watson or Dak Prescott?
Yeah.
Doesn't that make a lot more sense in the end?
Correct.
Instead of trading your assets for a worse quarterback, go get the good one.
I mean, if you're going to get 3 picks for Derek Carr, it's probably 3 third-rounders.
Fair.
All right, y'all, so who's the better quarterback, Sam Darnold or Carson Wentz? As y'all can tell, there's been a lot of quarterback controversy, a lot of quarterback trade rumors, some free agent stuff sprinkled in there as well. There's a lot of I think the fun part about this offseason, just like last, so many quarterbacks were on teams, and then they started going to other places.
Exactly.
It's never going to quite be like the NBA. However, you could see some big-name guys go to some different teams. So if you're a GM, if you're a head coach, who's the better quarterback? Who would you want? Type SD for Sam Darnold or type CW for Carson Wentz. All right, the Lunatic, more likely Dallas signing Bud Dupree or a New York defensive tackle. So I'm guessing you mean Leonard Williams or Dalvin Tomlinson.
I don't know how likely any of them are, but I think a Giants defensive tackle, probably Dalvin Tomlinson of the two, make a lot more sense than Bud Dupree does.
All right, Detroit Lions talk with Micro Mike. What up, my man? Martin Mayhew, former Lions GM, signed, and Washington, could he pursue his former quarterback in Matthew Stafford?
I think this makes some sense. We kind of hinted at it just a little bit ago there, Mike. Logically, it makes sense. He's coming over from the 49ers, so maybe in some weird reality they could also make a play for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Okay.
But he's going to be a high-ranking executive with the Washington football team. They need a quarterback. If they were able to get Matthew Stafford, if I'm Washington, I'm all in on that move. I think Matthew Stafford, you can try and find another receiver via free agency or the NFL draft prepare with Terry McLaurin with a fantastic defense. That team can legitimately make a lot of noise in the NFL playoffs. So if I'm Washington, I'm all over making a move for Stafford, and Detroit's probably going to ask for at least a first-round pick back, by the way.
This name is pretty chuckling to me. Heat, wind, fire me. Okay, should the Broncos bring back...
Wind and fire more.
Should the Broncos bring back Von Miller? If you guys are big-time Bronco fans, please go check out our new Broncos channel, chatsports.com/Broncos TV. Getting close to 600 subs. Let's get them to 1,000.
Led by producer Sam, by the way.
Sam.
As it relates to Von Miller, yeah, I'm going to bring him back. He's Von Miller.
Sure.
He has a club option for this upcoming year, around $17.5 million if they pick it up. I think $7 million is the number that then guarantees immediately. He's already on the books for $4.2 something million. It's Von Miller.
Yeah.
You keep Von Miller. If you're trying to win games next year, you keep Von Miller to have a better defense. I think it's kind of a no-brainer, frankly. I think that's the best move for Denver is to retain him.
All right, so is Von Miller going to stay with the Denver Broncos, or could he potentially go somewhere else? Type B for Broncos or comment other. I would be absolutely shocked if I saw Von in any other jersey because, as you mentioned...
Maybe one day, but not this upcoming year.
There's just players, they don't make them like Miller, especially from a sack production. When you're in the division that has Patrick Mahomes, you don't give up an elite edge rusher like that. So I'm going to type my B for Broncos, and I anticipate a bunch of people in the comments doing that as well. If you guys want more coverage around the NFL Draft, there is one guy y'all need to follow. It is at WhatGoingDowney on Twitter. He's keeping you guys updated on Cowboys, NFL, and if you're looking for awesome NFL Draft coverage, seriously, hit him up on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. If you want to talk fantasy football, other NFL content, Raiders, I'm on Instagram at MitchellRens365. We are having a competition today between Tom and I, so if you want Tom to win, go give him a follow on Twitter. If you want me to win, go give me a follow on Instagram at MitchellRens365. As I look right now, Tom's beating me.
Ooh, I like it.
Tom's beating me right now.
I like it.
Let's go to King Higgins. Best safety in the draft. Do you think it's Moehrig or Holland?
Yeah, Moehrig. I think Trevon Moehrig out of Oregon
TCU.
or not out of TCU. I'm thinking of Holland out of Oregon.
Yep.
I think the TCU kid's the best one. Heck, Ardarius Washington, their other safety from TCU, is also a pretty damn good prospect. Holland didn't play this year, and he was almost a nickel safety hybrid. And I know he got some round one buzz early in the process, but as draft media guys got a little bit tighter on it, they're probably not going to be a round one guy. I think, frankly, none of these guys should go round one. They should all be in that top 40, top 50 range to start.
Let's go to Lozran.
There you go.
Who can the Seahawks target to improve the offensive line?
I mean, it depends on how much money you want to invest. If you want to spend significant money, a Taylor Motton at right tackle,
Yep.
a Brandon Scherf or Joe Tooney at guard makes some sense there. Maybe Corey Linsley, a center from the Packers. Draft-wise, I mean, shoot, take your pick of who you think might be there in round two. That's always a little bit tricky, especially when you're drafting out to the top 50. So if I'm Seattle, I got to find a way to invest a little bit in the offensive line in free agency so I'm not pigeonholed into taking the best available lineman in round two.